Oh, that was interesting. I put that right in front of my face. Well, that's a good reminder that the Voice of Freedom $750 lottery for the Donkey Sanctuary is still running. We have about 8 tickets left to sell, I think, and it's your last chance in this lottery to win an ounce of silver. So my suggestions are get over to merch.vofhq.com. If you don't have it, there are 7 tickets or 8 tickets left. Go grab them now while you can. Excuse me. Now let me find that media asset, click the wrong button and take it off. Now you get to see my beautiful face. Sorry, I mean scary face. Either way, welcome along, people, to tonight's show. It's going to be a little bit different. For starters, I'm going to put your comments up on screen so that you guys can have a read of what's being typed in if you're watching this back at a later date. And I'd just like to say hi. What's going on in crypto today? Remember that everything that I tell you here is layman's terms because I'm a layman. And excuse that flicker on the screen. I have a small issue with my virtual machine where it actually has too many things running off USB ports at the moment. And I'm waiting on a wired keyboard and mouse so I can sort that out. But so, hey, Peg, nice to see you on board, mate. So, we do not have Mark with us at the moment. He may drop in a little later with any luck, as he is talking about being able to sneak in once he gets off his shift, because everybody seems to want to call in on sick on a Saturday night, so he says. So, effectively, not much we can do about that. He will hopefully drop in. I do not have a lot to talk about tonight. Is everything but Monero and Pax. What's this, Bill? I'll just put that up on there. Everything but Monero. Yeah. We're going to have probably, if we get a chance, we might have a look at Monero, see what it's up to, and Pax G. I'll have a look at them on the charts, just generally speaking. But firstly, let's discuss what we think is going to happen to crypto in the short term and also the long term. So the way I see it at the moment, we may get another little push up and then we're going to see it drop below 80,000. So that means that if Bitcoin goes below 80,000, Ethereum will, there's a whole few others will also take a downturn. So what does that present to us? Well, that's sort of a little bit dependent on what we're going to look at for the long term. Do we think that the crypto market is going to die in the long term, or is it going to do its usual cycle and come back up again? Be interested to see what you guys think about that. I personally think that we'll see crypto do another rise without a problem. But right now, I think there's going to be some huge buying opportunities to get in on some of the premium type coins and get to those while they're down. Now, I say premium type because you've got to be really careful about what you're choosing. So one of the things that's going to happen as we go through it, right, in the long term, over the 5 years, we're going to see somewhere between 50 to 80% drops in crypto, drawdowns on various coins and bits and pieces. And in fact, entire narratives will die. So that's like some of the meme narratives will cark it. Some of the other narratives in DeFi, not DeFi itself. I think DeFi is going to be one of the ones that actually stays. Actually, while I'm thinking about that, I should bring that little chart up. Except I've forgotten the name of it, so you'll have to excuse me while I go search for it. Band of bubbles, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so some of those narratives will die it, and what I might do is just bring that chart up and let's have a look at what some of those narratives are. So let's go and do it by narratives. Right, so these are our narratives that we've got. Some GameFi stuff. Now, I personally think it's not GameFi is not going to die. Now, anything I tell you here is just personal, right? I don't think that GameFi is going to die. I don't think it's going to be a huge narrative in the market, but with what's coming over the next 5 years with the government, the control, the lack of jobs, etc., I think gaming is going to be one of the ways for entertaining the masses. Not taking a step out of history books here where the Romans kept them all entertained at Colosseums or anything. DeFi, I think, is going to stay. Lending and borrowing protocols, there's going to be a lot of areas where that could be very, very much a trap thing. Smart contract platforms, obviously, yes, will be staying in play because smart contracts is one of the ways in which crypto can actually be used in business senses along the way. Layer ones is definitely staying. Made in the US? That one could be an interesting question. That one could be an interesting question indeed. NFT. Now, NFTs, I think that one's going to fail. 100% gone, as far as I can see. Right, real-world assets, I've already talked about that. Real-world assets, as you see, and I'm going to just demonstrate a bit of that real-world asset a little bit later in the show, just to let you know. That one's staying for sure. AI. Oh, God help us, AI. Now, how many of you guys in here have been looking and following your various platforms and noticed the amount of AI videos that are currently being generated? And, you wonder about them and you have to look closely at it. I saw one of a mother cat carrying her baby being chased by an eagle who jumps through into a car window and lands up on the dash to be nice and safe from the eagle. Only trouble was the whole thing was AI generated. How did I know that? Well, one, the window was shut. When the swings back round, the window was shut. Two, the jump looked like the cat went right through the side pillar of the window. So I don't know how that happened. So, but you get these now, and it's getting harder and harder and harder to determine what's A and what's AI and what's not. I mean, look at me right now. Is this really me? Right? I said this is one of the narratives I was going to chase, and I went and bought some number protocol tokens. And at the moment, if you're interested, that's that number protocol that I bought somewhere down around here. But I'm actually up 4.3% on those number protocols. So I thought, yeah, right, understanding that the whole market's dropped, so I would have expected the drop, but I'm still up 4.3%. So for once, I've done an investment that looks pretty good. Why did I choose this particular AI narrative? Well, I did that because I want to identify I'm me on the net and not some AI thing. It's going to be the way that people can, in the future, identify who is a real human being and who isn't on the net without having to really, really struggle. So I think this one's got some traction in it as a business because it's got a use case scenario. And when you're doing your own research, that is something that you should really look at. Layer 2 is obviously zero knowledge. I'll have to look into zero knowledge, see what that's about. Deepin. What's Deepin? Pace. ACU. Yeah, that one's actually getting a lot of talk at the moment. I'll look more into that. Decentralized exchanges. Well, definitely, I think they're going to be hanging around for a while. Because of the beauty of the fact that you can do that exchange without having to involve any banking or anything. Restaking is an interesting question. As we can see, there's not a lot in there, but I know in Australia that if you restake your coins, anything you earn out of the restaking becomes a full-on tax deduction, just in case you're wondering. Proof of work is obviously there. Bitcoin's a proof of work, so that's going to stay there. There's quite a few others that are proof of works. Same with proof of stake. Centralized exchanges will, over time, be replaced by decentralized exchanges once they work out all the logistics to it, because there is quite a bit. Because once you go decentralized, then it's much harder to hack an exchange, for starters. That's in there, right? Oracle. Oh boy, Oracles, yeah, Oracles will stay without a problem at all, because they're all about databases and masses of information, and we already know that that's part of what is required as we're going through this situation. And storage. Well, a lot of people will think that storage is one that's going to drop out. I actually don't think it will, right? Because effectively, storage across the net in multiple places, and especially at the moment with the way things are, like if we want fast storage, we're going to use something like an SSD. We could use slower storage, which is spinning disks, which is becoming very affordable. SSDs, they're about to go through the roof because memory prices for the system for memory is all being taken up by AI. And those same sort of chips are used in SSDs. So anything that's memory related, that's going to become a very, very valuable asset in the future, which means that if you're looking to back your stuff up on your little USB disk or whatever, it's going to end up costing you a lot more to buy more backup disks in the future. So I think that is going to be one of the challenges that comes forward throughout this. So anyway, we shall remove that off the screen for now. What have you guys been chatting about there? SSH. Excuse me, screen for sneezing live on the stream. I bought more silver last week. What's this? I bought more silver last week, and the insurance is 1%. So who here got a quote for 3K for delivery? Man, how much did you buy, Bill? Wow, 3K. Ooh, okay. Not me, right? I have no money, right? This is why I tell you, I'm a layman when it comes to crypto and bits and pieces. But we should raise that situation while we look at the charts, and we can see that everything related to the charts is currently going down, right? This is the Bitcoin chart at the moment. So what I'm expecting to see here over this next little while is that this will pan out a little bit, then it's going to go boom, up like this. Well, that's a bad drawing. Let me delete that and try that again. It's going to go up like that, and then it's going to do this. That's what I'm seeing it. And we could see it come down to there. That's my best guess. Around the 74, 72 mark is where Bitcoin's going to drop down to. And why do I say that? It's because we look over time, that's where it is in the peak of the highs of the last peak, right? That's it there, right at the bottom of there. So, and anything like if we follow it, ETH's going to do the same sort of thing, right? ETH's going to follow. Most of these will follow cryptocurrencies. Now, do I actually have Monero in here while I'm looking? Oh, yeah. XMR. There we go. Now, that's impressive looking. That's very impressive looking. We did see a beautiful rise. Now, that would have been from the news, right? And now it's dropped back down. But in general, that's a nice start. XMR's got quite a way to climb back up to its peaks, as you can see right back. Oh, wrong program. You can see how high the prices were at one stage. So they have got, it's got a long way to go to get back up. And that is in the BTC equivalence. Let's just change that to USD. And now I need to do some fairly drastic shrinking of the chart. There we go. Right, so at its highest, XMR was around the $517. Right now, it's down around the 212. So, is it going up? Oh, hang on a minute. It's got way up here at 776. I wasn't looking at that correctly, so I stand corrected. Sorry. So that means I think I need to go to, that is a daily chart. Let's go to a monthly chart. Because what I'm thinking is, come on, come on, come on. Where are you? Refresh. Sorry, guys, I just need to there we go. And that's back on the daily chart. And that's back on Bitcoin, which is not what I wanted. Come back here. Right. Let's try for our monthly chart. Oh, actually, we'll do weekly, see if that works any better. That's better. And change it back to USD. I think that's your fault, King Duck, from memory. You put me on BTC on that one. Come on. There we go. So we can go back as far as to 2017, understanding that XMR has been out for way, way, way longer than that. But that gives you an idea. So at the moment, that means that XMR, because it's a privacy coin, has currently broken through and is in the processes of doing a nice little breakout and then a pullback. All right. What does this say? I think that it's going to end up meaning XMR is probably going to be going up a bit more, only because people are concerned about their privacy at this stage and where they go. Peg, what do you got here? I'm flat out getting any crypto, can't afford silver or gold nowadays. That's very true. But can you afford $10 of silver, or can you afford $20 of silver? Right? You can either purchase that through Ainsley Bullion Saver, which buys you effective grams, or you can do it like I was showing a couple of weeks back on CoinSpot and buying a token, which is backed by Ainsley. So there is no loss or chance in that. Now, just for your interest, that money, you all saw me buy it online. I'm going to take your comments off for a second. You all saw me buy that online. I have not added any more to it since or whatever. But that was what, 4 weeks ago I did that, when I bought that couple of $100, a bit of gold and a bit of silver. So in 4 weeks, I have earned, and let's just blow that up so you guys can see it, 36.1% on that silver that I bought there. So if I sold that right now, right, I have earned an extra $54 on the like $160 of silver that I have there. How's that for interest rates? Let's see a bank do that. All right, and I can sell this instantly. I don't need to travel to Ainsley and sell it. I can just go right now and sell that online, and I will get my money back. Approximately $171.54 that is worth. If we go to the equivalent gold that I bought, is $81. So if we do a quick bit of mathematics, that $81 plus $174, that's $250. How much did I actually spend on silver? Does anybody remember? Anybody in the chat? Do you remember? It was $200. So over 4 weeks, I have made $54 through CoinSpot. Now, if you don't have a CoinSpot account, it is a KYC. You do have to fill out all the relevant details to know your customer. It's fully qualified in Australia, does regular audits and everything else. But if you want to, there is a link down below where you can use my link to get in there. And by doing that, you'll get a little bit of Bitcoin, and so will I. So I appreciate that. Every bit will help. But that just shows you that over this time, and we can see here that the gold's gone up 10.6%, nowhere near much as silver, but it still has gone up. So, and And the interesting part to go with that is the gold-silver ratio. Look at this. Look at this in the gold-silver ratio, right? It's got down as far as 48%. So if you've got silver that you wanted to change to gold, now would be a really, really good time to do it. I may have drifted way off track there, guys. I'm sorry. I was talking about where do I think we're going to be going in the future with that sort of thing. So short term, I think we're going to see a drop, right? I don't think we're going to see silver and gold drop, though, because you've got to try and remember, crypto is a volatile asset. It's very much an asset that grows when there's free spending available. And how many people out there right now think that there's free spending? They've got extra money to spend. There's not a lot at all. And that's part of the reason why I think that crypto currently is suffering at the moment. So, and bigger companies are doing the same thing. They're looking and saying, let's put ourselves into something that's more stable. And those are gold and silver and platinum, right? So in those respects, I think that's what you're going to see happening over this next few months, especially as things grow tighter and etc. I don't know how many people saw that little chart thing that I did on the VOF or even on the FBN about how much food went up in the last year. But, you know, they're expecting that sort of a rise again, another 30% this year. So we are going to have less and less and less money unless we can find ways to get around that. Excuse me, I've just got to get comfortable. Bit of a wonderful seat. I've got needs a little bit more cushioning here. Right, so what have we got here? What I'm waiting for GSR to be below 15. Really? You're going to wait that long? I don't think it's ever been below 15 in its life. Let's have a look. That's the lowest point there, right? And that was 31. What the? 31. That's on the records that I have here, and that goes back as far as 1998. So, yeah, I mean, it may be further back, but wow. Right, that's something else totally. No, I'm busily talking and not showing. Sorry, let me do that. Let me add it to the stage. Try that again. Down there, that's the lowest it's got, 31.7 what the? And that's from 1998 till now. So you're waiting for it to get down to 15? I think you might be waiting forever, my friend. It may take a while to get there. What's this one saying here? Platinum might reach parity with gold so long as the industry remains open. Yeah, I've got a little bit of another picture that I've got to show you on that. Let me just put those chats back on. But I wonder if there's a way to remove this screen and shift it somewhere else. I don't know. Still, they're adding little tricks to our presentation software all the day, and I just thought I would try this one out. So this one here is go back to the supply and demand fundamentals. Yeah, okay. Patience, man, you're going to have to be very, very patient. Never mind. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see what XRP is doing while we're busy bouncing around on the charts. Oh, that's interesting. That's bounced almost out of my lines, my trade lines there. So is this a good time to buy XRP? Well, considering that the next little bump is going to go up, you're going to make some on that. But what I believe, and I think you'll find the same thing here, right, is that this is going to go, because we can see that it's gone up, and then it's going to go down, then it's going to go up, and then it's going to go down like this, right? So I think as we see Bitcoin drop, and that is pretty much guaranteed to happen over the next 6 months, that All right, we might be getting somewhere down to, let me just grab a line here. And I think I need to change that to a horizontal line. And I would be looking to it to probably get down around about here somewhere. All right, so we'll change that to yellow. No, that's not what I want. Try that to yellow. So I think that that's what we're going to see, that's going to end up coming down around this area somewhere, around down to about 92%, which is going to be roughly 80% of its drop, but still about 20% of where it's sat for many, many months. So now, does that mean XRP is dead? Not in the least, right? They are still making major inroads into banking licenses and bits and pieces. And in the long term, XRP is going to be a very valuable coin. But if you can buy it down around here, even if you buy it in stages, like buy a bit there, buy a bit here, buy a bit here, right, on its way down, you're going to cost average yourself into a pretty reasonable deal. That's if you wish to stay in crypto. But do not expect returns from it for a while, right? I would say that you're going to look at probably a good 2 years of bear market again before we even move forward. As far as I'm concerned, we're going to go into the bear market, even though there are still people calling that it's going to go up and do a major catch up because of the way the economy is and the other markets, and it's got to catch up to those markets. I don't think that's going to be the case for a while. And even if it does, if we're buying at these locations and it does go up, it's nothing but a win-win in that situation, isn't it? When you look at it. So effectively, right, I'll do there. XLM. Let's have a bit of a look at XLM, which is a regular one. All right. Pretty much petered out. If we were to draw that line between there and there, and it's 50% lines roughly about there, it's well below the 50% at this stage of the game. Sol, which is another one that also, I don't have bottom lines on that. I should really draw a bottom line on that. Let's just do that while we have half a charts. And that looks like the major come out a bit. I'm on the weekly, so yep. I'm going to call that one. Yeah, I reckon I'm going to call that about there on that chart. So we can see it's well below its low and its high. So interesting. Well, silver. That chart just seems to be growing exponentially. No matter what you do, that just keeps on going and going and going, right? Notice that it's hit above $103 American. It's got that high and it's currently settled down. Let's go to the 4-hour chart on that one and just see where we're at. Okay, so on our 4-hour chart, 103 right now, 102. So if you're owning silver right now, I think you'd be pretty happy with what's going on. Take that one off. The lower it goes, the more I buy. In which one, mate? Which one are you talking about? And then hodling. That is 100% correct. Yeah, hodling is something that we should be, in fact, looking at. Well, yeah, sort of in those situations. What else have I got in this little list that I can show? I said I don't have much because Bitcoin's not really exciting. Crypto markets are not really exciting. There's not a lot of news coming out at the moment. Unlike apparently there's going to be a fairly large announcement on the 1st of February by One Nation. So that should be interesting. We'll just have to see what goes on then. Gold. Let's have a look at the gold chart. It is still climbing. That's the 4-hour chart at the moment. Has it broken the 5,000 yet, US? Not quite. About another $5 to go. So, Okay, now that's a really good point, Peg. I've got a few years to see how things goes. Do you recommend buying or saying 10 different coins or 2 or 3 and hope that they go up? Okay, so one of the little means I've got here, which I'm going to just show you guys, let me take that off the screen. I found a little bit of a meme. I don't know if that one actually, I didn't add it. Hang on, let me add files. And I want that one and that one. Open that. No, it's not actually either of those means that's there. But this is one of the things that you get to see. It's so over. We're back. All right, sorry, I'm going to take the chat off temporarily, which is under there. And I'm going to come back to that. So we're back. It's over. That's the cycle that we keep going through. How many coins do you want to buy? Well, initially, when I first got into crypto, right, I spent a lot of time taking memes off screens, which is that one. I spent a lot of time doing research and picking various coins. And, I had a wallet of 30 or 40 odd coins. Over times, a lot of those coins failed. But what I found was the blue chip one stayed. So if you've done your research and you figured out which one of your blue chips, I would say having 10 good blue chip coins is good. If you want to do or play with a little bit of crypto and go up and down in the markets and memes and bits and pieces, make most of your, I'd say like 70% of your portfolio a good choice coin or 10 good choice coins. I wouldn't go much more than 10, right? And then spend another 20% of your portfolio on high risk, on high to medium risk assets, and then the other 10% you can play with on the damn, I fluked it and just became a millionaire type asset. So just that's how I would work it. So what would I class as good coins? Well, if we go to Coin Market Cap, which I'll just go to now. Right, and show you guys that particular window. We're 33 minutes in it and still Mark hasn't arrived. Oh, I don't know. So here we've got Coin Market Cap. Right, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether. Well, Tether's an interesting one because that's based on US dollar. So if you convert your crypto to Tether, it may save you losses in your crypto because you have Tether. But remember that the US dollar is going down as well. So, all right. BNB, look, I should stop clicking on those. XRP, Solana, Tron, Dogecoin, Cardano, Bitcoin Cash, Monero, etc. So in these top 100, there is some good coins. But what you've got to try and look at is what's been out for a while and look at their growth over those times. So like Monero at the moment is doing quite well, even though it's been out for a very, very long time. Hyperliquid is also doing exceptionally well, but it's only been out for a short time. So in relationship, which one do you think would be better for the long-term thing? Remember when we had the .com bubble, right? Out of the .com bubble, there was heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of businesses. Only a few of those survived. So you need to try and pick those few. And those few are going to be the ones that are much more regularly up in that top 100 mark. I mean, one of the ones I'm following is ETN. Would I advise you to buy ETN? No. Is it a good project? Yes. It's bringing unbanked to the unbanked. Is it making headways in the crypto market? No, I don't think so. It's doing enough to keep itself alive as a sustainable business and its new VM machines and its trading of the way it's done. But I don't think that it's going to go that far anymore, which is a real shame because I had lots of coins in that one. Lots of coins. And that wasn't a legit coin, but they've now moved to an Ethereum-based system, even though there's still a layer one or Ethereum compatible, I should say, even though there's still a layer 1 chain. So some of these are like exchanges. We know exchanges come and go, so that's a bit of a problem. We've got our meme coins, or Pepe. I wouldn't do that. Internet computer, that one's been around for a while, but has not really lived up to its height. Also take into account circulating supply when you're dealing with this. Like for the Bitcoin, 19.98 million of the 21 million is out in supply. Mind you, some of those are lost or locked up in wallets that need passwords, and I'm still doing my best to try and crack one of those for somebody. It's somewhere in the 4 billion passwords tried at the moment, so it's still not even close. So I would pick somewhere between 5 and 10 King Duck. That's how I would do that. Matter of fact, I've shrunk my portfolio down to 5 or 10 decent coins. A lot of the memes and bits and pieces I actually sold off and ended up buying Num Protocol, which is the one that's actually making me some money at the moment. So that's where I've gone there. Right, XRP, XLM, yes. XDC, yes, I'd agree with that. HBAR? HBAR is an interesting one because it's had a very interesting history over the last few years. Is it still a good, legit one? I believe so. Is it going to be a super seller? No, I don't think so. Algo, okay. Flare. Flare's new, isn't it? I've done nothing with Flare, or did they change their name? That's the other question. Search, recent searches. Where's my search up there? Flare. That there. I see it's got wrapped Flare as well. So let's just have a quick look at Flare. Oh, it's got heavy sentiment to the buy, and it's very bullish. That's interesting. All right, let's have a look at the website. What is Flare all about? See, I don't know much about Flare, so you got me on that one. Data. Flare is a fully stacked layer 1 solution designed for data intensive use cases. Insensitive. Love that. So it's a data collection protocol, very similar to an Oracle. It's using EVM compatible machines, proof of stake, mechanism, stake your FXRP on Firelight now. Okay. It's decentralized, which is one of the advantages of having that type of a system. Secure. There is a contract in Solidity. Interesting. But there's a lot of data staking ones about already. So what makes Flare different? That becomes the question. Why would Flare be different? Shiba, I think Shiba's had its day personally. Just that's my opinion and only my opinion. All right. Has Pirate Train AAR done anything? Pirate Chain. Let's do another search. Come on. AAR. Pirate Chain. And I'll put that up for you. So Pirate Chain, a triple R. Did I read that wrong? No, you had it right. I just read it wrong. So there's Pirate Chain over the last 24 hours. Let's have a look over all. All right, so it started back in January. Well, it started well before then. back here in June of 19. So it's been around for a while. Circulating supply is 196.21 million. Not sure what their total supply, total 106. Oh, that's interesting. So I wonder if that means that they can mint more. That's also an interesting question. But, right, came out quite nicely at like $4, $4.08. It's dropped right down to the minimal cents, and a lot of them do this, 37 cents. So if we were to look at that, it's probably about a 90% drop over its period in time. Over the last week, it seems to be going down. The last 24 hours, it's up. Let's look over the last month. It did actually do a bit of a good climb. It went from down here, and which I think was down around its lowest at 21 cents, and it's got up to 78 cents. So, yeah, what is their whole... Let's go and have a look at what they actually say. Understand that I'm not doing deep research into these. A lot of the cryptocurrencies and stuff that I do right now, I look at on a surface level only. That's why I say this is a layman's show, because effectively I do not have the time to sit here and go and deep research these items. But do your own research is one of the things that you need to really do. And I mean, really look into them, read their white papers, see if there's a hole, see if there's somewhere they're filling or something they're going to do before you start going into it. I just don't have the time to do that. Not trying to manage the FBN network, helping with VOF, dealing with My Place Australia, dealing with helping Tim, also a couple of political people that I know that I assist with. And, you know, my health doesn't allow me to work all the time when I need to work. So that also is a challenge. And if I was just concentrating purely on crypto and playing the markets, I think I could do that very well. But I do not have time to do that because, as you would know, my country is more important than my personal wealth. So that's part of that. Pirate Train Explainer video, probably worth watching. I won't play that here. I'll probably get strike. Download of wallets. Oh, Crpto acquisition. They actually bought Crpto. Crpto was a coin that was out ages ago. Wow. Okay, interesting. So they're making some moves. But what does the platform actually do? It's a decent open sense payment gateway that allows you to accept the pirate on your websites and stores. Okay. Pirate OS with VPN, Tor and MAC address spoof. Oh, hey, I might have to look at that. MAC address spoofing ensures wallets privacy through USB functionality, shielding against surveillance, enhanced security. Is that not an issue today? I mean, with the latest hate laws and stuff that we've got coming out, unbelievable. Right? We need to protect ourselves in any way we possibly can. So I might have a look into that further, I think, just to see what's in there. Let Carl move into your place. He can be your helper. Mate, I can't fit any more people in my place. I already have a person who's renting a room, and I have 4 kids in the house, all of which are adults, plus me, plus the person who's renting a room. So, yeah, nah. No. Anyway, Carl's way, way, way far away. So, no, not happening. So, yeah. Right, so g'day, Vince. What's that on CoinSpot? What are you talking about there for CoinSpot? King Duck? How's the temp in SA, mate? Basically, it was around 42, 43, but cloudy. It was an interesting wind. I'll just actually have a look for you, tell you what it is right now. If we have a look. Currently, right now, it's got back down to 26, but it did make it to 44 today, in case you were wondering. But very cloudy, so we had a very hot wind. All right, so with that, I do have, let me take this off the screen, have a little bit from I have to stop sharing and add it on the window. It's a shame that this one doesn't allow me to have extra windows, but that's the way it is. Share screen, it's a window, and it's not showing up. I have too many windows open. No, not that one. Not that one. Hang on. Give me. There it is. That one. Really? It just moved on me. Thank you. Share. All right. So I've got a couple of things from X that we can have a quick look at. All right. CZE says that he believes Bitcoin is going to go to $20,000. I'll try and make that bigger for you guys. There. That it's going to go to $20,000. And obviously, I'm going to agree in the long term, but it is long term. I think we need to look at the fact that over the short term, it's going to be very volatile. In the slightly longer term, it's going to go down, 50 to 80%, and then it's going to increase back up again quite massively. All right. Notice this. All right. Kyle Duke says not everything is breaking highs in speculation. All right. Gold futures, 39%. Silver is up there on CFDs in the US, and platinum. I was told you I had a thing about platinum coming up, right? At 130 plus, so or 1.17%. So those, I think, where the smart investment is now. And for those of you who bought silver and gold, I think that is a really good option. And as I showed you before, if you can't buy a huge amount, even buying small amounts on CoinSpot and letting them sit like I did, right, over 4 weeks, $54 on $200 worth. So if we actually worked out if you watched last week's movie, if I was to sell that, I'd almost have enough to pay the redeeming fees to go and redeem what I had left at Aisley, which would be about $4. So yeah, not worth it, but in that respect. But it is worth it in the fact that it's making money for me at the moment, which is really nice. Next one from Crpto. Real bull run has officially started. I'm not sure that that's correct. Right? No more partying, no more distractions. For the next 3 to 6 months, you must lock in. You must be ready to sacrifice everything. Well, that's that chart that I showed you sometime before. He has since come back from that, and he's literally saying that no, he thinks it's going to go down now, right? After looking at the charts and seeing what they've done, he believes it's going to go down. So from that respect, that's about all I've got for you guys. Other than this, I did want to show you this. This is the one, right? Comments. New coiners asking for help. Crypto OGs reaching out the hand, giving you the slap. Do your own research. Us. Yep, that's pretty much what happens with us, right? That's where we go. And then we've got this one, just for the laugh. Can crypto make me a millionaire? Yes, if you're a billionaire. I thought, yep, I like that one. There's also this one that I found along the way. Dad, shit's going down in normie land. And boy, is that not actually accurate. Don't worry, son. We have Bitcoin. Well, I think that should probably be changed. Don't worry, son. We have silver and gold. But yeah, so just something for a bit of a laugh for you along the way. Jump back into the comments. So from there, I'm basically done. Mark never made it in. there's not a lot of talking points, in the crypto world anyway, or this gold and silver. I mean, that's fairly stagnant at this stage. One other talking point we do have is this weekend is Australia Day weekend. Now, that's for every single Australian that lives in this country who's chosen to call Australia their home and wishes to join the Australian culture. Now, for everybody else, if you don't like our culture, leave. That's fairly simple. But yeah, so today this weekend we celebrate. We have our flags out. We're going to celebrate Australia. In fact, we should be celebrating Australia all year. But for those of you who are going to be out and about in the weeping, melting, hot weather that we have over here in South Australia, we're expecting 45 for that day. So that's going to be extremely interesting. But for all of those of you who are Australian, who live here in Australia, and I don't know care where you came from, if you've chosen this country to be your home and you've chosen our culture, then welcome aboard. All right. Stay strong, stay great. Let's just move forward. Start talking to people. Start getting them aware that this country has gone nowhere under the Libs and Labors. And while the only other way that we can fix this country is through revolution, which is not something I recommend, then the one way that is left to us is to vote both of those parties out of government and get rid of them. That's the only other way that's left to us. So, and, you know, a lot of people will say the system's rigged. Well, yeah, I agree, because everybody's been taught there's only a two-party preferred way of doing things, when in fact that's not quite how that works. But the mindset's been in there. I mean, it still comes down to two-party preferred. It just, who is the second party that we're going to vote for? Could it be One Nation? Could it be the Libertarians? Could it be Australia First Party? It's all dependent on how many votes head in that direction. They then become part of the two-party preferred. So go down that path. Talk, research, understanding lower house votes are not put through computers. They are counted by hand, no matter what anyone says. Upper house, it's just a little bit different. I can always talk about that at another day. But effectively, enjoy your Australia Day. Enjoy your long weekend. And like I always say, right, cheers to Charlie Kirk up there in the corner. Discussion with your opposition will bring knowledge to both you and the other person. So, one other thing that Charlie was a good Christian man. And from this Christian man to that Christian man, I'm going to repeat the message from him to you is have faith, believe in God, believe in yourselves, and don't let the shit get on your back. Look forward, look towards your country, look towards your family, look towards your saving, and be good. So with that, we're finishing 5 seconds early. Oh no, 5 minutes early. I won't finish just yet. Tickets on Voice of Freedom merch store. Right, there will be some changes coming to the merch store soon. That's going to hold both FBN and VOF merch. One of the many other jobs I have to do. But please, can we roll that over and get some more money to Sandy and those donkeys? We'd really appreciate that. Remember that the next one starts up will only be for the $750. There will be no silver, because pretty soon the silver is going to outprice everything. Although I do believe we might have a special lottery coming up for a 5-ounce bar. Just as a hint that might be occurring. All right, guys. Buy the dip. If you can find some dips, buy those dips. If you then you find it goes down lower, don't worry. It won't stay there forever. All right. Have faith, everybody. We love you. I've got to find the right system on here. And we will see you in the future. Remember that we have links below for CoinSpot. Feel free to put stuff in the chat. I'm trying to monitor that more nowadays. So if you need to down below and you want to make any comments, feel free to put them in there. If you want to abuse me, feel free to do that too. I don't care. I'm one of those ducks. All right, so with that and the media assets, and we find this one that says buy.